my fellow South Africans.
They said it's a lockdown. The country cheered, but I broke down. I tried to convince myself that this is good for our people, but I realized how bad it impacted me, how badly it affected my family. But I complied. Day 1 of lockdown, I ran out of water and I ran to the nearest dam to fetch water. I had no wheelbarrow, so I used a bucket. I went at least 4 times because I have kids at home. 3. They asked me why I didn't fetch water before the lockdown. The thing is, I did. They saw me outside, they called me stupid and ignorant. Are we supposed to die of thirst for 21 days? I had to fetch water, and that was 20 kilometers away from our house. Our electricity is not even enough to boil an egg. I sacrificed the stove for the lights. My 6-year-old sister cannot stand the dark. Every time she sleeps in the dark, she gets nightmares. Terrible nightmares. I had to collect wood to save our electricity, but they saw me going into the deep field and they looked at me with disgust. I tried to explain why I had to be out, but my words fell on deaf ears. I felt pain in my own eyes, but I guess it was never visible to them. I cried not because I wanted to convince them, but because I had lost a battle of fighting my own tears. I had to go out, but they posted me on Facebook and made memes for amusement, making a mockery of my struggle. They called me ignorant. I'm a street vendor, and when the president announced his lockdown in a period of 3 days, I just bought my stock and I didn't have enough money to stock up on groceries. Instead, I bought bread and hoped for the success of my business. Few bought from my store, but many didn't. They don't owe me anything, yes, so my plan failed. That night, I watched my 2-year-old sister choke on the bread I had left. After day 6, I was back to square one. We're living from hand to mouth. There were good days and there were bad days. Today was worse. My 13-year-old brother is asthmatic without proper medication. Whenever I take him to the hospital, they give us prescription letter instead of medications. He's my only brother. Sometimes I use moringa leaves, at least they suppress the symptoms. I understand the crisis of the country, but should I leave my brother to die from his asthma attacks? Ali works, but that's just another thing. How do I get Alu if I don't leave home? I had to go out not to spread the disease, but just so my siblings could survive. But they saw me out. They called me stupid. I'm sorry for my stupidity and for my poverty. I apologize for my inconvenience and my ignorance.